Thank you, my dear. Thank you. We have audio? Namaste, everyone. Very warm welcome to Satsang today. Sadhguru Sri Muji Ji ki Jai. Thank you all so much for joining in. Very welcome here. In the Hangout, if you wish to speak, just unmute your mic. When you sense that there is space to speak, you can unmute and start speaking. On YouTube chat, you can post your questions there and we can look at them. It'd be easier for me if it's just the questions you want to address in Satsang. It makes it a little easier. Sometimes you can share whatever is coming up, but although it is called chat, the purpose in Satsang for it is not to really chat. We were joking yesterday and saying that it's so funny that most of what is said in Satsang we can encapsulate in a knock-knock joke. All that is happening in Satsang is that I'm playing this joke where I'm saying knock knock, and then I'm asking, is there anybody there? You see, so I'm knocking and asking, is there anybody there? And that's all you have to answer. Is there anybody there? Anybody home? And if it feels like yes, there is somebody home, then let's look for this one. Let's look for this one. Who is it? Who's home? She has an answer, I know. That's why I'm not looking at her for something. She's worked it out during the night. And she's waiting for this question to come. She's ready. You found it? You found the somebody who's there. It must be there, you see. It must not feel like there is somebody there. It must not be a thought about somebody being there. It must be a finding that you found it. This one who lives here. Are you sure you found it? Yes and no. This feels thing. No? Yeah. So feels like means what? It is like saying that it feels like there is somebody in the neighboring house. Because there's some random, in the late at night I hear some noises coming from there. There must be there, somebody there. This is just the secondary evidence, in which we presume the existence of a person. But once you look at it from my perspective, you will find that it's such just pure crazy talk. You see, because you are presuming that there is somebody living inside. Who? How can there be a somebody living inside this? You see, once we had this conversation where you said, it's living here on the one part of my head. So if it's there, then why is it concerned about the rest of the body? It's living over there and it controls the rest. I mean, it owns the rest of the body. This one that we have always presumed ourselves to be does not actually exist. That's why Bhagavan asked this question, who am I? So that it sheds all these ideas, false ideas we've had about ourselves. Not with this hope. I'm sure he was not asking with this hope, one day somebody is going to come and say, I found the person, here it is, I got it. To see that this person was just an idea. And what I am is this pure witnessing which is untouched by any appearance. It doesn't mean that the appearance must change or the appearance must stop. You see, but you will find that the one who claims that this is my experience, this one does not exist. The one who can say my something does not exist because this me is not real. So are you relying on secondary evidence or have you had real seeing of this me?
Like all these decisions in front of me suddenly.
Yeah, decision. Yeah.
From last night. So, like I have to sense, I have to decide.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah. But
and
then,
they also do the body. So it's like.
So all of this is coming, but it's all saying I have to decide. I have to do this. So this is good because we are asking for this I. Who is this I? That is important. That is important. Try and understand who is this I which I am referring to myself as. Who is here that makes a decision? So for those who are new, they might say, but this is the body. You see, I feel that I am the body. But the body doesn't want to know about the decision. The body doesn't know whether how long it has to be in India. The body doesn't want to know. The body doesn't have relationships.
It's like a decision on whether I should go see somebody or not.
Yeah.
So then follow the body.
Yeah.
But just to sit and say, I don't know. It feels really
Uncomfortable, yes. But it will become very natural. to not know, and to see that being does everything. Being moves in its own way, irrespective of what so-called decision-making happens. The presumption is that this being is now reliant on my mind to decide what it is going to do next. But if being is the all-knowing one that is projecting this entire universe, does it really need to rely on the mind? How can the mind help being be?
Like the decision, like feels like I made and make this.
Who, but who? We're not letting you get off that horse. We're not letting you dig a new well now. We're still on that. Who?
I think you asked a very pertinent question, but it's very difficult to answer. You asked whether somebody is there. In every human being's mind or body, directly or indirectly, somebody is there. Who is that somebody? That somebody is individual's fault.
Is the individual?
Fault, in my opinion. Who is in charge for that? For somebody, Bhagwan is a guiding force. For somebody, some
Yes,
Ram,
yes.
somebody, some Father, Buddhism, all of them. For some people, some goddess.
So what we are asking is, who is this individual whose choice it is? So for Suchitra, her choice is Bhagwan.
Yeah.
Who is this Suchitra who made that choice? Not what the choice was, but who is the choice maker? That is the question. It's actually impossible. Can I tell you that it is impossible to understand the answer, but to see the truth now. If you're open to seeing, it's completely easy. So to understand or to be able to report the answer is impossible, not just difficult. You see? But to see the truth for yourself is completely easy. Okay? So when Bhagavan said, "Who am I?" do you feel that he would have spent his entire life asking this question, which was impossible? He would only have asked because he felt that you can see for yourself. So if the answer is coming from some understanding or some concept or some intellect, then it has no value. You see? So the who am I, you cannot answer with intellect, knowledge, understanding. It cannot be understood. But we can see what is here right now. So this brings us to the present, to the now. Who is here now? And it seems very difficult because in the world, whenever somebody asks a question, we have to rely on our understanding, on some knowledge to answer. You see, this is one question where no knowledge can help. Only your pure seeing right now, looking, who am I? Unreliant on anything which is coming from the past. Just fresh now, who am I? So the mind will come and say, but this is too difficult, I don't get it, I don't see anything. You see, all this still comes from thoughts. You see? But who is the witness of these thoughts also? Who is seeing these thoughts also? So we are coming straight to the root of what is the self. You see, because if you come to satsang, you will say, I come for self-realization. So straight, you want to discover who is this self. And we don't get lost in any idea, concept, understanding, even scripture, nothing. Because all that becomes part of our second-hand knowledge, you see. We heard from somewhere or we read from somewhere and we feel we have understood something. But it never becomes our true living experience. And that is why suffering still continues. Unless our self-realization is our living experience and comes out from the realm of just knowledge and concepts, then suffering still continues. The one who has realized that the self is untouched by any of this play of appearances, then suffering seems like a joke. You see, so momentarily pain can come. Momentarily pain will be felt, but we cannot have a story about it. We will not become a victim and say, why does this pain happen to me? Because the me itself is found not to exist. When we truly inquire, who am I?
The other was, it's a very intricate exercise for itself. It cannot be
I would say it's refreshing. It's refreshing because it's a new exercise. Like I said, everyone is used to answering from concept, from knowledge. You see, from childhood onwards, we tell the children study, study because this question needs to be answered. You see, and you need to remember the answer so you can answer. So we feel that we have picked up some knowledge and we are able to answer. With this question, who am I? It doesn't matter what you study. You study the Ashtavakra Gita, you study the Ribhu Gita, you study all the scriptures. You see? But if it is not your living experience, just quoting from scripture will not help. Because suffering does not go away just by quoting a scripture. Suffering goes away with the discovery that this I, who I always presume myself to be, doesn't exist. And I am this pure awareness, which is the witness of all of this play of Maya. So there are some who can just say these words. Who will just say these words because they've read it in scripture. And there are some who, when they say these words, you feel the perfume. You feel the perfume of truth. To say the words is not a big deal, but to sense the presence of truth when the words are spoken, that is what is important. And this happens only when you have just openly looked. You openly inquired on this question, who am I? And not gone along just for a little while with what the mind is offering as an answer, then the truth must reveal itself. It will reveal itself.
But how did you find the answer, sir?
I discovered that the question itself led me to this point where I saw that there is no me now. There is no individual me now. So to discover that there is no me, then what remained? What remained is this presence of being. You can call it Atma, you can call it consciousness. This presence that I am, Atma. And I found that ultimately even this I am not. Because I am aware of this being. And I find no separation between myself and this awareness itself. So this awareness which is aware even of Atma, I can see this to be the truth right now. Not even important what I discovered in the past or not. I can check right now. And so can you. So I am saying that there is no difference between us. It's only that when I check, I'm checking openly without referring to anything that the mind is saying. But usually in satsang, when we are checking, we are waiting for the answer to come from the mind without just looking for ourselves. So it does not matter what I discovered or didn't discover in the past. What matters is what do I see now? You see, what do I see now? And whether what I see now is not your seeing. Because we are one. We are one ultimately. So it must be the same. It's only that some distraction must be coming from the mind and some belief must be going to the mind. Otherwise, you would also report exactly what I am reporting. So it is not, when we share here, we don't talk about self-realization as something which is glorious and happens to only 1 in a billion people. Because if the self is real, it must be here now. Mustn't it be here now? Would we be interested in a self which comes and goes? What value would that self be? If a God is there and he's coming and going, then what value does that God have? So if God is here, then God must be here now. It's maybe that we have been distracted by just these thoughts and emotions that we refuse to perceive that which is in the background of all of this. So God must be the background of all of this, the space in which all of this arises, made up of God Himself. So when everybody says God is everywhere, even children, if you ask them, they will say, "Oh, God is everywhere." But then, if God is everywhere and is eternal, then what are we looking for? So these are the questions which we contemplate here very directly. So we don't take any indirect approaches, we don't refer to anything else, just from our direct experience right now. So all that is required of you when you come to satsang is I share that my direct experience is this, and you have to check and say, but my direct experience is this. Can you clarify the difference? But we find that it takes some time usually to defrost all our prior conditioning. So used to referring to the mind for answers, that to let that go for some time and to just look and see what is here now is what I call the defrosting initially, which takes some time for some.
The moment the understanding is truly turned towards the mind,
Yes.
it immediately becomes less vicious.
Yes.
No matter how long it has been vicious,
Yes.
it immediately takes on a very sort of sattvic quality.
Pose. At least a pose, if not a
But
quality.
there is a feeling that when you ask who is inside, when I completely leave my body out of the picture, it simply has
Yes.
it's not a variable in the equation at all.
Yes.
But still there is a belief
Yes.
that there is some entity who wants to have the last laugh, and who wants it, who will say in the end.
So
I
leave
told
this
you
belief,
this, so
like you left. So already you said something very beautiful. That means there is an I who can leave the body aside. You see, this I is there which can leave the body aside, said, taken out of the equation. Now this I, let it take all belief also out of the equation. Let it take all belief also out of the equation. Then what remains?
there is just a moment clear seeing that's happening.
Yeah.
Which I feel, I don't know, I feel it's not possible for you to personally evolve it in any direction.
Yes, exactly.
It may evolve, I don't know, but now it feels like it's impossible for it to evolve in any manner.
Yes. This is very good. So now you're getting, you see, because now this body out of the equation, belief out of the equation, any other sensation coming up can be allowed, but doesn't really matter to the I, isn't it? This I which is removing all of these from the equation, to this, what matters? Which appearance can touch this one?
Ultimately, I think only severe suffering, it will momentarily do, but even then there will be the knowing that
Yeah, so all
this is not.
Even the phenomenal reactions which are coming can be kept aside on. So when we keep all phenomena aside, then you still remain. And no mind can fathom this, you see. And words are difficult here. So when we take all phenomena out of the equation, there is the I that still remains. You are this I. And all that appears is from within you.
Actually, it does not matter if your appearance is better than mine
Yes,
or whatever.
it does not
Finally,
matter
it
at all.
comes to that point.
Yes, yes. Because there is no you and me. It doesn't matter. Oh, then he is able to share like this. But here, if I've discovered the truth, why not able to? This is still that guy. You keep this one also aside. So little bit it can play like this, little bit for some time, and then as it keeps being kept aside, where belief gets withdrawn more and more from this, you will find that this is just small pesky noise. It's not anything relevant at all. But then this difference, you and me, this appearance versus that appearance, doesn't matter.
I'm still very curious to know like, what it is that I got in Satsang. I was not
Yeah.
expecting to get anything when I came to you. And I just walked in one day without feeling that I'm going to get anything real. I'm even embarrassed to say I just wanted to check it out, kind of thing. But I find myself very surprised to have actually got something very rapidly and leave out major stuff which I could not have done. Like as you say, this the field of the Sangha.
Yeah. Yes.
Enables one to individually what could be done.
Because it is not, because you are non-phenomenal, then what happens in satsang is I bring a non-phenomenal mirror to you, and you cannot see it because it's non-phenomenal. You can say like that. So you see yourself as yourself. But who can explain what happened in satsang? Nobody can. Everybody will say, I came just to check it out. Couple will say the same thing. Many will say, I just came, clicked something to check it out. And what nobody can answer. So what happened? You came to check it out, and then why are you still here? I don't know. And it's even more difficult because we don't have steps. We don't have programs. Okay, you do a program now. Step one of the program is this. By the end of step one, you will not have stress. By the end of step two, you will discover God. At the end of step three, you will find that you are the absolute. Like, it doesn't sound too bad actually. 3-step program. So because we don't have steps and we don't give you certificates, so you can't really say. So what happened? I've been in satsang now 10 days, 20 days, 1 month, 3 months, 1 year. And yet sometimes it can get aggravating, you see. Also, you've been in satsang, sometimes you'll say, I've been in satsang 2 years. 2 years, I was the first one to come. And yet look at this one who just came today and she's sharing so beautifully. I don't feel like this even after 2 years. So this kind of then competitive benchmarking can start. But all this is also very good satsang. So it gives us more fuel to burn all these tendencies. What happened? Nothing really needs to happen. Because something to get means there is something missing. That means God was half, and now God has come to some place, and God is becoming full now. How is this possible? When we are realizing our God self, then was something missing in God? No. See some more questions.
When I try to talk satsang language,
Yeah.
everybody says very quickly that it's a form of escape.
Yeah.
I'm trying to escape something. Whereas my feeling is that I'm in less state of escape than ever before, and then I'm trying to like fully communicate without running away. But the reaction seems to be that you're escaping, you're bypassing some huge inevitable wall of sorrow that you have to pass through, something like that.
It's very good that the world reacts this way. It's actually very good that the world reacts this way. It's just like me, I share this story, I don't know whether you heard it or not. Garima once, Tina. So this comes to me very often every time we start speaking about this, where she's sitting at the dining table, both of us sitting together, and she's sharing, this happened, this happened, something happened. I'm saying, but who is this one? But who is this one that it happened to? And for me, I must be sounding very, very satsang-like in my mind, you see. But looking from there, I was sounding like a complete jerk. Who is just, who I think, if it doesn't appeal, then when we are trying to be something, then although the words that we might say might be completely true, but we still sound like spiritual jerks. This is what even Adya says. So to the rest of the world, when we are trying to be spiritual, we are sounding like terrible people actually. So don't even try to share this, because it comes, no? It comes to share, because with this understanding, it feels,
sharing satsang language, but like speaking from is so-called my own words from this space. But even then, the reaction was that I'm escaping, and I felt I didn't have the counter to that.
Yes, because it's a little mixed still, you see. So you say, I was speaking from this space, but this space is not concerned about the reaction, you see. So it's a little bit of this getting mixed up with some identity somewhere, which is still concerned about, okay, I said this from this space, why are these people not accepting? So this one also will get washed away. Then just speaking happening. There's no claim over my speaking anyway. You see, like there's no feeling that I am sharing. It's just being shared. You see, so whether you accept, doesn't matter to me because I didn't do anything. And I have no claim that this is right or wrong or true or false. Nothing like that. It's just that some deeper voice, which is this intuitive voice, which is using this mouth to speak. So where is the me who is concerned about how it is accepted or not? So even this gets dissolved. Then when it comes from this space, which is uncontaminated with any sense of personhood, then like this, many will come that will want to be in your presence, and many will want to run from your presence. It's all okay for you. It doesn't really matter then. So this one, it's very good that the world wacks very quickly, you see. And what I'm saying also might seem like I'm doing some backing, but that's not my intent, but it's just coming like this. But it's very, very good, because otherwise what can happen is that once this clarity starts coming and we start sharing from this place, if everybody was to immediately come and fall at our feet, then this has the potential to become the spiritual ego. It's a feeling that, oh, I became something special. But the world is very beautiful in that way and doesn't oblige. So immediately when it feels like something beautiful is arising from here, immediately go back and come. You're just being an escapist. How does this help? You see, like this. And use this for your satsang and say, who's feeling hurt with this reaction? Or who's feeling a sense of the world misunderstanding? Who's feeling little victimized by this? And then even this one will dissolve. Then it doesn't matter what words are coming. It could be in satsang that every word, every two sentences are the opposites of each other. But I don't care. Yeah? You say you are everything, you are nothing. You are all there is, you don't exist. You can say it like this, which is just opposites. Every, but it is not in the words. You see, it is the presence of satsang which the words are just a part of this entire presence. So if you feel that, then it doesn't matter. I could be saying gobbledygook, something, something. So let your presence speak, which it is already. Compared to the first time when you came, you were so much more. I don't know whether your father will agree or not, but you're so much more radiant. See?
That it's maybe a little off from the track. Still, I want to clarify this. The doubt is flowing over my mind. What is the definition of that? According to me,
Yes.
you kind of correct me. What I understood from the definition of Satsang is, it is part of human being's life. It's a sort of one of the activities of your life. Means what? You should not give up your social commitments in the society and be a part of be a Satsangi in order to improve your thinking level about life, about spirituality, and whatnot. Am I correct, sir? Or am I kindly ended?
Thank you. Thank you. It's a very good question. That he says that satsang must not become the overriding thing in life. You see, you must not renounce life and just become about satsang. Is that what the essence of your question is? So let's first understand what satsang is. Satsang is the presence of the truth. But what is the truth? Not a conceptual truth. So we can, better definition would be to say that satsang is the presence of being. That where you feel the sense of peace of mind and you taste the presence of your own being, that is satsang. So be it like this, be it any other place where you sense that there is a peace of mind and you taste the presence of your own being, that is the company of the truth, the company of being. Now, what happens is that in satsang, the true satsang, you come to the discovery that what I have referred to myself always as, which is the ego, the person, that never existed. So the ego dissolves. With the dissolution of the ego, this sense that I am going to do this with my life or do that with my life, also you find no use in that. You see, the whole world is running after some ambition, something to do, something to not do. And the whole world does not come to a point of peace, endless joy or happiness, which everyone is looking for. You see? So, if I were to ask anyone, so ask you, so why do you do this? Why do you work so hard, even now? Why do you do your activity? So that I can have a happy, peaceful life. That's all I want. I want my children to be happy. I want myself to be happy. My family to be happy. So everybody wants this. How many you know have actually got this happiness, which is unchanging, unmoving? In chasing after material things, I have not met one also who has come to this point of unmoving, unchanging happiness. You see? But I'm not saying that any of this must be renounced. I myself have worked, if I work pretty hard usually on most days. So there is no renouncing which is happening towards any activity. There is no renouncing which is happening towards any relationship. The only renouncing which has happened is to the idea that I am the ego, to the idea of personhood. So now, whatever might come and whatever might go, I find that this underlying sense of peace, underlying sense of joy does not move, which is what everybody is looking for anyway. So it is not about the outward activity, whether it is happening or not. It is about what I have really believed myself to be. So in the little time, and it's completely fine. You say that I don't want to become a full-time satsangi. See, like this. I don't want to become a full-time satsangi, but I feel it is a nice part of my life where I find some peace. Isn't it? That must be the point. If you don't even find peace in satsang, then there's no point at all coming, isn't it? But you say, okay, for the little while, once in a month, twice in a month, whatever time I get, I come to satsang and I find some peace for myself. Okay? What's also important is that when you come to satsang, then you forget about everything else for these 2 hours when you're here. Okay? Because what happens is you might come to satsang and your daughter is here and you're still thinking about her only. You see? So you must find that these 2 hours, she's my daughter. Yeah? Forget that she's your daughter. For these 2 hours, she's my daughter. Yeah? You just focus on your own self. Just focus and say, okay, how does this occur? Because otherwise what will happen is you will try to make her understand something through me. You know? This is what can happen. You will ask a question so that she will understand something. But I want you to ask a question which applies to you. And she must ask the question which applies to her. But we can have a separate meeting also where if you want me to tell her something on your behalf, I can do that also. But in satsang, utilize this opportunity to see if any of this resonates for your own self. Because when you are here, I don't see you as her father. I see you as you. Okay? So, if there is something which is being said here, and after you check for yourself, you find that, okay, this does not correlate with my living experience, then you must bring it out and say that this, you say the self is here right now, but I don't see the self. You can ask like this very directly. Then I will ask you, so what is it that you see right now? But otherwise, what will happen is that even this, because you can come rarely, no? You told me you can come only once a month because of your work and things. I don't want this time also, because the rest of your time would be going on those worries and what's happening in life and things. I don't want this time also to go in that. So use this time to find your own peace, find your own truth. And you will find that with this, you might find that, but that was not my purpose. But you will find that when you find your own peace, you will find that maybe your external appearances also start to sort themselves out. And you will wonder how it's happening. This is also a blessing that can happen in satsang. Prakash had asked a question. He said, please elaborate. Do not think about it. If you think about it, you spoil it. Do not think about it. If you think about it, you spoil it. Do not just try to understand this with your finite mind. You cannot. It's one of Guruji's quotes. Guruji's quotes or
It's your quote. You said
oh.
it on Monday.
With your finite mind, I use like that.
Don't try to understand it like that.
Yeah. Oh yes, I was saying that. Don't try to understand something because we've spent our entire life picking up intellectual understanding. We've spent our entire life picking up some knowledge. And this knowledge, how far has it helped us? The moments that we find of peace. Many will go on a vacation and say, let's go to see some beautiful mountains, or let's go to see the ocean. Maybe experience those mountains. There is no knowledge. It's just the experience of the mountain. There is no past. See, there's nothing that I need to understand or know. I don't need to know the mountains. I just experience them. I don't need to know the ocean that is made up of molecules which are made up of H2O will only spoil that experience, isn't it? If you're analyzing the chemical components of the ocean, then will you enjoy the experience of the ocean? So many times it happens that in satsang we come with this prior knowledge which we picked up from some understanding of books or something like that. And what is unraveling for yourself now, that is getting lost because you're trying to fit it into this intellectual framework. Or you're just sitting and confirming. Many times you sit in satsang and you're just sitting like a judge, sitting on his chair over there. Yes, this is right, this is wrong, this is right, this is wrong. this is true, no, this is wrong about, like this, constantly. You see, so the unraveling which is happening in satsang is getting lost because of this distractive voice of judgment which is sitting in the head. That's why I said, don't try to understand anything at all. Forget about it. You will not understand. You see? And it sounds strange because every classroom, everywhere we've been in the past, they say, please understand. Here I'm saying, don't understand anything. Just look at what the words are saying and just clarify with your own self. Does this resonate with what I'm saying, what I'm seeing right now? Because if I were to just leave you with new concept, then how does it help? If I were to replace I am the person concept with I am God concept, does it really help? When life is bringing strong appearances to repeat I am God, I am God, I am God is not going to help because it's just a concept. But once you experience yourself, you taste your own being as God, then let appearances bring whatever they have to you. Let appearances bring whatever they have to your godliness, you will find is unshakable through all of this. So I want you to taste this for yourself. Rather than give you a story about God, I want you to see that God is here. You see? When we're just trying to make a story or some understanding of it, then we miss this pointing, which is just that the presence of being is here. God is here. That is why I said that don't think about the words which are being shared in satsang, because thinking will only mess it up. I say, no, that I bake a chocolate cake for you. And then you give it to the mind and say, oh, what do you think about this? And you mix it with your judgments and your doubts and all of this. And you're mixing just mud into this chocolate cake. It is not doing anything else. The mind is not doing any value add to what is being spoken in satsang, except contaminating it with doubts and mistrust and all this stuff which can come. So it's okay. Like you're new. He's allowed to have all the doubts. You must have that. But you must be completely doubting in the first few satsang and then clarify all of your doubts. I'll also tell you what needs to be clarified. I'll also help you define how to go about doing this due diligence. Okay? So what you must check for is there any sort of emotional, psychological, material exploitation that is happening through this one. So is there any emotional, psychological, physical exploitation that Ananta is engaging in? You must check, because when you're new to satsang, you must get this doubt clear, you see. And don't buy any excuses. You see? So many places you will go and they will have some fancy language for some of this exploitation. So you must not believe any story when something seems exploitative. You come to satsang and you say, I feel that this, what you're doing, is exploitative. You must mince no words. There are many people watching from all over the world right now. There's so many sitting here. You must come and say that, Ananta, you did this. I feel that you are exploiting something. You see? So that is the first thing you need to check. The second thing you need to check is what is it that really happens when I'm in satsang? Do I find that there is some sense of peace? Do I feel that in the presence of these words, it is smelling to me intuitively of some truth? Does it feel like this for me? Let your intuition, inner intuition, guide you with this. And if you feel this presence of peace, if you feel that just, I don't know what I understood, like she was saying earlier, I don't know what I understood, what knowledge I picked up, but it doesn't seem, this play of appearances doesn't seem so strong now. It seems to be losing its bite. You see. The same buttons are not making me dance as much as they used to. This appearance of something happening or not happening is not bringing as much sorrow as it used to. So like this, when you keep checking for yourself, in this way, then all your doubts will be converted into trust. But doubts is not a bad thing initially. But we must not be a forever doubter. We must have all our doubts and we must bring them in the open and say, these are my doubts. See? A true master will never say that you cannot bring your doubts to satsang because they feel some sense of being disrespected or something. So that means there is still some egoic sense left which is getting affected if you are bringing up your doubts. So all doubts are welcome, but what I want you to be careful about is just see that is this just a comfort zone for me which is keeping me trapped in my old patterns. So once we are through with them, okay, how long can we doubt? 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 1 year. Can we be in satsang for long time and then say, but I still believe this doubt? That is then becomes the ego tendency to hang on to some personhood which is relying on these things. Because if there's some doubt which has been lingering for more than a year, and you've not been able to come and either share it or just expose it for yourself in your own light and say this is just not true, then we are just using that doubt as an excuse to not check for ourselves this inquiry, who am I? Why did we start talking about doubt?
Can I?
Yeah.
Please. Whatever they have on this section. Only unless you have doubt and it is clear, your level of thinking will not be the second thing, being a Satsangi for a very long time, you will overcome all these shortcuts by reacting enlightenment and enlightened person. And thereby, you can improve upon, you can further improve upon your level of thinking or your way of bringing out the doubts here. Maker.
Yes.
Is what
This is good. Just one small thing I would like to add to what you said is that you will discover for yourself that there is a deeper quality here which is deeper than any thought can ever reach. So it's not just that you will elevate your level of thinking, you will go beyond thinking into your pure intuition itself.
is what we call. Has to be.
I would like to have more depth on non-labeling.
Non-labeling.
Non-labeling. Seeing without labeling. I apparently understand, but not the depth of what actually. I do sometimes, the mind stops when you don't label. The experience is there, but the depth is not there.
Yes. Okay, so take any object. Say this glass of water is here. Just look at it and tell me what's happening, either in thoughts. You can say it.
I still would label it as water. It's contained in a glass.
Yes. So it is not that the labels which are coming up. So water in a glass, this kind of energetic labeling can happen. So it is not the labels by themselves which are trouble. It is to rely on this label to interpret what is the truth. That is the problem. So when we are relying on this label, it means to give it our belief that actually, yes, this is glass of water. When we are relying on that label to define the truth of what is appearing for us, that is when it becomes a problem. So what happens is that this is here, in the same way the labels are also here. We don't label anything, let everything come and go. So nothing is defining, this interpretive voice is no longer defining the content of the appearance. You see, it will try to by coming up, but when we don't give it our belief, then the label does not apply. So, is this just the label water? this beautiful liquid. You see? It has amazing qualities of how it plays around, dances around like this, and the millions of molecules that are going on inside this. So is it just dependent on this label water? It's in this label which the belief, when it goes like that, then the wonder goes away. Right? The wonder goes away. Otherwise, everything which is appearing is so wonderful. But when you give it a label and say, and many times it's like this, no, these labels you can find in spirituality also. So much trouble because of labels. You say, who am I? Oh, I'm the soul. What is the soul? I don't know. And it stops. It's just, we feel that, okay, I got the label for it, means I understood it. You see? So many who have not been in satsang, if you just go and say, so who are you? You say, yes, yes, I know I'm not the body, I'm the soul. What is the soul? I don't know. I just know I'm the soul. You see? Just the label soul has become like, gives us the feeling that I know it now because I know the label. That is where the trouble comes. When we're not labeling all that is appearing and disappearing, then we are also not resisting it. Because if we rely on the labels to say that this should be, this should not be, this still water should be sparkling, all of this can come from this sort of labeling. It doesn't only have to be with beautiful objects. Can say we'll take a flower and see. Can we just see the flower without saying anything about it, without any interpretation? It's a beautiful contemplation like this. So
was impacted immediately.
no, that is also labeling.
That's also labeling.
Yes. Yes. See, what must happen? What must happen is also a resistance. You see.
What must happen is also. It's
What we are saying,
spontaneously happening. The beauty of it.
Spontaneously, whatever is meant to happen is happening. And you will see the beauty in that without your labeling of what it must have been or what it must be for Tole or for somebody else.
Yeah, wonder.
Yes, okay, wonder is okay. You wonder, oh, I wonder, like this. But then wonder is not really resisting what is happening. What is resisting is, oh, I'm not there yet. Because Tole, because when he writes, then what is it that you wanted to say about that?
No, I don't understand the depth of his knowing in that sentence.
In which, what is the sentence?
The experience of non-living.
Yeah.
When you look at the expanse of beauty, you just you can mention it times. But I really
Okay, look at the expanse of the appearance and tell me how it is different from his experience.
can be different.
Can't be different. So in this way, then what we read, which can be very beautiful, can actually become like a trap for us. It can become like a trap. So we say that, oh, I'm looking at this water and still the labels are coming up. Labels can come, but without our belief, they are meaningless. Okay? But otherwise, we are labeling the labels which are coming also, saying that these should not be there. So first, at least, can we drop that label? The labeling of the labels, let's stop that. Then you will see that the labels in themselves just some energetic playing of some little energy somewhere called the mind. Sometimes we make too much of the mind. The mind. It's just some pesky energy. It can never be greater than consciousness itself. It arises from consciousness.
When you look from his presence and everything is available for the presence. This presence itself is.
Where else would you look from?
The conditioning is there.
Yes, which means what? The looking is happening and also belief is going to the interpretation of it. The looking remains the same. It is just that attention and belief not so much going into the interpreter voice. And you see everything for what it is, without any labeling. It's much more simpler than our mind tries to make it out to be. Just don't believe your next thought. It is enough. Yes. Even thought comes, no problem. Only belief creates the problem. Because the thought comes, but what about that beautiful experience that Eckhart talks about? Don't believe this thought also. Because nobody is saying that their experience is different from yours. All they're saying is that now our attention is not getting split up into multiple aspects. It is not getting so contaminated with the working of the mind that the clarity of the present moment is taken away from it. So how to do that? Just by withdrawing your belief, you will find that attention also automatically then doesn't move around so much as it used to. This is all that we mean when we say your seeing will become universal versus personal. You must have heard Guruji also sometimes he says, no? Your seeing becomes universal rather than personal. What does it mean? It's not that you get a new set of eyes. It is just that we are used to seeing and then relying on the interpreter for what we are seeing. And we no longer rely on this interpreter. So then we are not looking in that way where everything is about what's in it for me, what's in it for me, what can I get out of this situation, how is this helping me. All this noise drops. Then there's very beautiful universal scene which remains. See, like this we did one experiment, no? We said, look at an object and also bring your attention to thought at the same time. Bring your attention to an object and also try to bring attention to a thought at the same time. And you will find that the object itself starts to blur out and the thought seems to be there. And the thought goes and you say, oh, I was lost in my thought. Then you come back. Actually, you were just continuing to see the object. It's just that attention seems to get split up. See like this? So awareness is unlimited. But awareness playing phenomenally in the worldly form is limited. Just like everything else that is phenomenal. That's why we get tired when there are multiple calls for our attention. Then tiredness comes, fatigue comes. If attention also was an unlimited supply, then I would be able to see this completely clearly, focus on my next thought also completely clearly, being able to observe the emotion also which is arising completely clearly. It doesn't happen because attention has been given in limited quantity. It's the phenomenal aspect of awareness. Making sense what I'm saying? No? Okay. So you just very simply just stay with this simple pointing, don't believe your next thought, and then check. check whether there's so much labeling that happening, anything else which is happening. Check. Yeah.
When I also read Abdul's book where he describes his waking experience,
Yes.
so he says that after that, it was the same objects, but everything looked different. And I think he says there was a light. So I was wondering, where is the light? Why can't I see the light? Where is it? So, yeah, so
It looks like, okay, again, that's why I don't usually like to share these things, because it becomes like this, someone can hear it and they say, but this just hasn't happened to me, therefore I'm not there yet. But actually, when we look like this without the personal me shouting everywhere, it seems like the brightness got turned up. That seems to be my experience also, that the brightness seems to get turned up, but not like some necessarily very, very neon thing, just like there's more clarity in the pictures. This must be true for all of us, because our attention is not going to thought so much, and it is only the diffusion of this attention into multiple things which makes phenomenal appearances lose their clarity.
I was telling you about there's no burning coming into me. 2 days ago, I was in such agony.
Yeah.
I want to die in that agony. I want to die. So much agony.
Because something happened, or
Nothing.
on its own?
On its own. I can't understand. Is there attention going to it? Is that why the agony seems to?
What do you mean agony? Some strong emotion came?
Yes, I don't know why. There was so much agony that what other word I can use.
Was it like some anger plus frustration
nothing.
plus something?
There was no reason for anything.
Yeah.
There was no reason. Probably I don't know.
No trigger, no reason, nothing.
There was a trigger.
Yes.
I had a slight problem with my son's binging.
Yeah.
I said, why? Your blood picture shows you should not eat this.
Yeah.
And he threw all this stuff and threw it around. And I was
So when you said nothing happened exactly.
No, but I was quiet. But it didn't happen that day. It happened the next day. There was so much agony. It was too much agony. Too much pain. But I couldn't relate that. That energy came into me. Is that how it
can happen like this? It can happen like this.
There was so much pain.
Yes, but
I was not. I was so cool. I didn't have any problem.
Yeah.
I know that that comes and goes. I didn't react. I went away.
Yes, but even if reaction had come, it's okay.
This kind of agony is terrible.
Then it's very good when you just said it's terrible, but I'm saying it's very good when these kind of things come, because you can test yourself and say, am I truly touched by even this, which seems to be such strong sensation? Who is the one that is touched by this?
Consumed by it. The presence there that.
Yes. But in the first moments of clarity, if we can use those for our inquiry, that much is enough. When it feels like we are consumed by it, then there's nothing anyway that needs to be done or not done. But when it feels like, okay, there's some space now to contemplate, then we can. Who was touched? Who did it happen to, the agony?
Just went. Came and just went. Very tired.
The body can get tired. The body can get tired. But does the body's tiredness make you tired? So when the body gets tired, the body is given rest and it's back. So conversationally, of course, we can say, many times I also say that I'm feeling a little tired. But it's not that I am feeling tired, it's this body, this instrument is tired. I suddenly feeling that we are ignoring the online audience, so let's see if there's some questions over there. Yes, sir. You have to leave right now? You have a few minutes. Bhagavati ji said, ever grateful, stumbled into satsang with you, Father, and I lost where that was. So grateful. I just sit here saying thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, my dear. So much. Aparna also wants to come up. So Radha is to go soon. So first Radha and then Aparna.
I don't have a question. So
Yes.
if she has a question, it's okay.
It's okay.
I just have been feeling like since that I'm just coming. It's just been like a lot of restlessness in the past few days. Not for no reason. I don't know. I don't know if there's a reason.
Did you see satsang yesterday? You know what happened to the one who sits in this chair?
Who was in this chair? I don't know who was in this chair.
You have to lean a little forward. No, she still
can't- they
doesn't know.
can't
So
hear.
what happened when you lean forward is I go knock knock.
Yes, I know that one. I don't know if there's somebody here. I really don't know.
That's fine. Could there be somebody here? Who's home? Let's see. Because all that could be appearing or not appearing, it matters only to this feeling that there is somebody here to which it is appearing or not. But if you're finding that there is nobody here, then what sensation, what appearance is really relevant? Found someone?
It's just like
Is it even an appearance? You see, this one, is it even an appearance? Yeah, because we can imagine, when we say, imagine a mountain, imagine the sea, this person, what is even the imagination about it? At best, we'll paint a picture of a body, something like that. Nobody here. Yes.
It's just I just see these days that there's just like a sense that this was me. It's just coming and going. Like it felt like me before, and it's just coming to go, and it feels momentarily that this is me. And a lot of those senses are coming up these days, like a lot of all
A lot of the
different
me
kinds.
moments.
Like very momentary, but I can see them come and go. They're coming from like all nooks and corners. It's not like one big me. I don't know if I'm making
Yes,
sense. It's like, and like I'm tagging it weird, but a lot of energies in the body, and actually there's a lot of anxiety energy which felt like me before, and I think that's the botheration. Like this body is, it had a period when it was really anxious, and it's prone to being like little non-grounded, and that's been happening. Like even yesterday during satsang, I was at home, but there was this energy in the head again. It's like pulling my head down, like just there's no sense of control. Like there's like hardly any resistance to anything. It's like, and it's like it's going to go touch my feet. Like I don't know what was going on. It was so weird. Like, and the body didn't feel any sensations, and then this in an immediate feeling of like not feeling grounded, and this it's been there for a few days now. And so that
there are many who are doing many years of practice to experience this energy. I'm not kidding.
I wanted to say I would so envious of people who have these interesting energies moving
interesting
from legs, toes, and head. Nothing happens to me.
There are many who are waiting for these energies, and there are many who are saying, "Oh, these energies." Yeah? And there are many who waited for these energies and then got them and said, "Oh man, what did I do?"
I think so. I think I see now that the thing is, it felt like me because it's there's this fear that I've had one panic attack in my life, and this feeling of me comes up when this.
But this energy that you described, just
head,
now where the head was.
No, that was not fear.
That was not panic attack.
No. But panic attack is like I felt when my whole body is getting numb, and as soon as something like that happens, like a trigger happens, and or especially when this I call it vata energy because it's so ungrounding, and I feel like I'm not able to breathe, and then I have to call an ambulance, and like that whole thing comes like I'm watching it.
So when the energy is coming, you are panicking about it.
No, there's no panic. Like there's no panic in the mind. It's not like. How do I explain?
So when you say ambulance being called.
Yes, that it's like an. How do I explain it? It's not the thought that bothers a lot anymore. It's like the energy. It's like a memory of the energy that was there. Can't put this in words, but it feels like me because this me has had a few years of like not panic attacks.
Which me has had?
It feels like
we pretended
it's not
that,
me. It's not me.
Yes, but we pretended that we were cats.
Yes.
We were cats. And these cats had all these stories. Now we see the cat is not here, was never here. Then, which cat had that? It was never there.
Not making any sense.
Both of us.
I think the person who will receive your call for the ambulance is severely trained.
I'm not panicking, but there's the story of the cat which is here. What? Do you want an ambulance or not? Not for me, my cat. This is not a cat ambulance.
It's not making any sense to me.
Once you see that there is no me, then it is pretty much game over. Because whatever energy might be coming, be it anxiety, be it kundalini, be it whatever, nothing, it does not matter to me.
I think it just felt like me. That was the whole point. I see like I can just see that it feels like me, and it felt like me before, and so it feels like me. But
Okay,
it's
so
just
what does me feel like?
Can't put that like it. I can't put
There's
it in
an
words,
energy.
rather.
Yes, so there is energy, and it feels like it is happening to a me. See? It feels like it is happening to a me, isn't it?
I'm not able to explain this. Like it feels like this was me before. Like say some thought comes and a belief goes to it. Like say jealousy, just for instance, and there's a feeling of jealousy, and that feeling felt like because I felt that was me before, and so I see it coming, and I immediately see that this was me before. Like there's several me's like that,
The identities.
The identities, like
but not like tangible entities. See,
No.
identities are not
No.
tangible entities.
There is no tangible entity. It's just I don't even know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm saying. Like it's.
So that's exactly what I said. So when some energy is coming, which
Yes.
at least has some
Yes.
in phenomenal realm has some tangibility, right? You can
Yes.
say that this energy is perceived. You see? But the me never had a tangibility irrespective of the energy. So when the energy used to come, there was more belief in the concept of me. So therefore it's felt like it is my story to be jealous. It is my story to be whatever. You see? But the me never actually existed. This is important to see. Otherwise it can feel like the me is gone now and the me has come back. So to see that there never was a me, and yet this phenomenal energetic play has been continuing and will continue. It bothers nobody because there is no me. Then it makes it simple. But if we keep linking it to the birth and the dissolution of the me, then this game can seem like the me is coming and the me is going. Yes, energy is coming, energy is coming. The me never was. The energy became a part of the story of the me, but never was the me itself.
So it's the energy that. Does that make sense?
It's okay.
I'm not able to put it in words.
Don't worry.
It's the energy that felt like me before, and when it comes up, it's not always or each time, but when it comes up, there is especially with the anxiety.
But the energy feeling like the me is unfounded because whenever you checked on this energy, you would see that you are witnessing the energy and not the energy itself.
There is no place it can stay. It's just like space, and something feels like there's this. It's like everything is welcome. So everything is coming actually, or going. I don't know, but
because
it's
this
just
is
like,
testing that whether everything is truly welcome or not.
I can see some moments when something's coming and there's like a restriction in the body, like don't come. I can see that too, but it just comes anyways. Making sense.
Yes. We're just getting used to being nobody. And when you're getting used to being nobody, then this sense of this energetic play and this mind thoughts, all this can happen just to convince you that you're still around.
It feels so spaced out in the mind, frankly speaking. Like my mind doesn't feel like
Spaced out or spacious?
Spacious in general, but the mind seems like it's like things get done, but like it's not. Seem to be forgetful.
Yes, but also what can happen is because you had this thing that you were so obsessive over making sure that everything is proper and done properly, then for you it can seem like it's become much more relaxed. But sometimes it can be that those who are just not concerned, they suddenly get this energy which they're saying, I want to clean up. I want to make things like this. Things like this.
There's no interest in doing anything, like even cook, like I think this is irritating me. Like something is getting like very restless that I want to be in satsang all the time, like here, like even more than like online is, and I just want to put it out to you
Yes.
because there's a restlessness and there's no interest in doing anything at home. Like it comes and goes, but last few days it's been like that. Probably I'm so used to my mom being around. Could be that too. No interest.
But you will find that whatever needs to be done will still be done.
Somehow manages
Yes.
some way. It's not like it used to be before.
And it will not be that everyone around you is complaining that you're not cooking properly anymore. It's only our mind which comes up with this.
Somebody keeps pointing out, like we have to look for homes to buy, and all you do is in front of the computer. So now today, when you come back from
Just open
Satsang,
one more window on the side.
please just. I don't even sit in front of the computer. It's just like when I have time, it's Satsang going on. But there's no interest, and I'm like, yes, I'll do it. And he can see the lack of interest.
You know how this house happened? Yes. You know the story?
No.
So we were on the 7th floor when Guruji first came, visited us in Bangalore. And there was this feeling here that it's too small for him to stay. Also the place where we had satsang, it felt it was too small. So what happened is that our kids were growing up and that was a 2-bedroom apartment. So we wanted a 3-bedroom one. So we started looking in close by localities. Because my parents stay very close, so we didn't want to go away from this area. We started looking and somehow nothing was working out. And the ones who used to live in this 8th floor, they said we are going to sell our place. So Garima came and said, let's go look. I said, no, but it's 3 houses, you see, there's no way we can afford this. So, but I walked in and this is the area where we came first. And Garima and I walked in after the owner. And we came to this place and first word that came from my mouth was Satsang. We saw this hall, I said Satsang. I was feeling that Guruji will be there and we'll have this big hall to have Satsang in. And I felt that this house is just going to be the one. So we stopped looking and we said something has to sort itself out and it's going to be this place. So you know what happened? So we didn't have the money to buy such a big house. So the owner said, this is what I expect, this is what I bought it at. And even if you take just inflation, this is the current price, this is what I'm expecting. I said, sorry, but we don't have that. So you know what he says? He says, how much do you have? He said, how much do you have? I told him how much exactly what we had. He said, okay, we'll close the deal at this much. And you know, it's so rare that we found somebody, for them 30-40 lakhs didn't make any difference because they're very, very well to do, they're into antiques and things like this. And this house has a story behind it. It is, so I never, okay, I'm sharing this online, but I never felt a resonance for Satya Sai Baba in my life. Never felt the resonance. Because all these stories and all the things we hear. And what happened is that this was Satya Sai Baba's guest house in this part of town. So then what happened is that they made a very large, the Matisans who used to own this house, they made some very large donation to the foundation and Baba said, you must go and live in this house. So he gave it to these people, they came and lived over here. And what happened is that they became too old, the parents. So 8th floor was very inconvenient. Sometimes the lift, if it doesn't work. And things. So they said we have to move out and we're looking for people who we resonate with to give. And few lakhs here and there we are not concerned about. We like you. Have you ever heard of a property deal like this? So then this house just happened like this. Just grace. We looked here, there, all this. Nothing happened. And we felt this one is just not going to work because it's such a large place and we don't have that kind of money. And he just said, okay. So when these things happen, then you know that there is a supreme intelligence which is running our life. Okay? And when we surrender to this grace, then all this becomes just automatic. So the mind will come with this fear, oh, you're giving up interest, you should be more aggressive, proactive. He's giving these motivational speeches sitting over there. But could it have pulled this off, the mind? Could it have pulled this grace off? So next year when Guruji came, he had satsang over there. He was sitting right under that painting, and this hall was full of people. Dr. Kanchan was here. So this grace moves in very beautiful ways. No mind can ever compete. Doesn't mean that we lose interest. We don't want his worst nightmares to come true. So we're not saying that you must lose interest in life. But we can trust that that which provides the interest and that which withdraws it for time knows what it is doing. You will get this trust, you will trust this entire process. Because what is unfolding for you, no mind could have ever got you there. No amount of money, no mind, no relationship, no as much workout as possible in the gym or hatha yoga as possible with the best hatha yoga trainer will not unfold what is unfolding for you. But because it seems to happen like this effortlessly, we feel that, oh, am I ignoring life? What is the highest purpose? Highest purpose is your own self-discovery, and it is unfolding for you. So if something said, okay, now this is your unfolding, realization of the self will cost you $10 million. Yeah? Then you would say, let me figure out a way to make that money and spend the next 30, 40, 50 years of my life just earning that so I can come to this, pay my $10 million and then get my self-discovery. Then you would say, oh, I led a meaningful life because I wanted self-discovery and I worked towards that. Here, self-realization is unfolding for you automatically. Your mind comes and says, but what are you doing with your life? You see the contrast.
The button pusher is the mom. It's not. It doesn't last. But like even like I'm just putting it out. Like even getting up in the morning and packing their boxes, like it's like an effort. Like, and I see the mind says I'm not interested. I don't want to. And the mom button can be pushed. Like it's really there's no energy. Like, no energy. You don't do anything. But sometimes interest comes. But it's.
If you leave this a little bit free, if you leave that judging part of it, if you leave that tracking part of it today, if I got interest, am I losing interest, am I losing energy, leave some of that free and let it unfold on its own. I don't feel anything inauspicious can come. It's like sleep. You keep tracking how much sleep I'm getting, am I getting enough, why am I not sleeping enough? Then sleep itself, it deprives you of your sleep. You just leave it for some time. And you relax into it, you sleep it. So if you stop thinking about so much about responsibilities and if I'm ignoring them, then you might find that it seems to be flowing in whatever way it is flowing.
What I'm saying makes no sense.
It's okay. That's why actually many sages in the past were great at understanding this human psychology. So they would say, you have to just come and work in my ashram for 20 years and I will not even speak to you. Just do seva in the ashram. 20 years. And then the mind is saying, yes, you're leading towards something worthwhile. So it didn't say you're so useless, you're not doing anything. Actually, you left everything and come to this ashram and doing seva in this ashram. But because the mind is saying, okay, you're going towards something. Here, because it is just peacefully unfolding, then we have this room, this window for the mind to come and say, what are you doing with your life? I actually cannot feel that there's anything better that you can do with your life. And what a blessing it would be to have a mom. I don't care if she cooks breakfast or not. But a blessing to have a mom who is not egoistic. What can replace that? So just see that all these mind stories are just, they have no ground to stand on.
There's no There's nowhere it
And
can.
imagine how blessed those kids are. How does it matter if the breakfast is cooked by you or somebody else? To be in the presence of that, where the unfolding is happening so beautifully itself. They get your darshan every day.
And I have one doubt. I don't know whether it's a little bit repetition of what they have
Yes.
asked. It is out of my personal experience. No, in day-to-day life, you will encounter with many problems, such as your personal, your appreciate, and other problems. For example, in my case, it's a bit different, but still I want to touch this point so that to get the right answer. I'm doing some consultancy.
Yeah.
They have some problems. Sometimes they have sensors, sometimes they have intricate, whatnot. And in addition to that, our own personal problems. But some problems will get solution. Some problems you will not get solutions. In the process, your mind will be under confusion. That's it. And you will lose control over your mind. The point I'm trying to tell you, who to get the control over mind and they yes out of that clinical. This is my question.
It's very cool. So, there are 4 problems that you will have. Most that experience this phenomenal existence, there are 4 different sets of problems. First problem is relationships, personal relationships, either partner, children, all these relationships. Second problem is security, money, work. Let's put them all into one. Third problem is problem with the physical body health issue. I'm saying generally, this is the third one. Fourth problem becomes this search for meaning, search for truth, wanting freedom. That also is a problem. Okay? So these 4 problems you can have. Any other besides these 4?
No. Generally, these are the question.
So one method is to see each of these inside. Okay, personal problem. Then you have these counselors and people who you can go to, and they try to help you, solve. Like in the olden days, then the older generation would be solve personal problems in the joint family. But now there are counselors and other people who can come. For work-related problems, then you can get some mentors or some people who have experience in the area, to get. So different problems. The world is trying to create different people who find those solutions. Here, we're taking out the root of the problems itself. So if you're open to taking out the root of the problems itself, then what I'm saying will appeal to you. But if you're not yet open enough to taking out the root of the problem, then you will say, okay, no, this doesn't make sense. But I'll tell you what it is. All of these problems are personal problems, isn't it? Your work problem is not my work problem, isn't it? Therefore, it's a personal problem which is not happening to this person which is here. Right? So all of these problems in all of these four categories depend on there being a person which is there to which the problem is happening. Now, if I were to tell you that this person is only in our imagination, will it sound completely crazy to you? Yes? It's okay. Really? But this is the discovery that you will come to. That the person who is having all these problems actually was just a set of concepts. I believe I'm a good person. I believe I'm like this and I'm like that. I'm very straightforward. I'm God fearing. All these concepts we have. Somebody else will believe that I'm a player. I'm street smart. You see, I like to have fun with my life. Somebody else can believe like that. You see, so just a set of concepts that we have believed about ourselves make up this identity called the person. Once you discover that you have never been this person actually, then none of these four problems, which seem so strong otherwise, can actually bite you. Because you see that there is no person here. All that I have is this moment right now, which is appearing. And never in this moment will you have a problem. It's always problem about future or something to do with the past. So this false identity of being a person relies on events which happened in the past or fear about what is going to happen in the future. Never is it that I ask this question, what is your problem right now, about this moment? You say nothing, right now is fine. But we live in our life moment to moment to moment. Can we live in the future or the past? Only this moment. So once you come to this discovery that the person identity is only dependent on past and future, then you see that it does not really exist in the right now, then life is just led very beautifully moment to moment. Then the fear comes, but who is going to run my life? What about the future? This kind of fear can come. How does the running of my life? It happens the same way that it has always happened, because always only God has been running our life. We feel that I have been doing it. But this I does not actually exist, the individual I. So you can actually experiment with it. On the next weekend, you can experiment with this and say, today I will not go along with any thought, not give my belief to any thought. You will right now feel that no action will happen through me. If I'm not going with any thought, you will feel that no action is happening through me. But you experiment with this. And you will find that all actions are also happening the same way that our heart is beating. Heart is beating is an action, it is happening. Eyes are blinking is an action, it is happening. Breathing is an action. There are thousands, millions of processes which are happening in the body itself, which are actions. But we feel that they are happening. Who is doing them? Actually, God is doing them. In the same way that these words, God is speaking, the listening from there, God is listening, you will find that because the personal identity never existed, all of this, God has only been doing. God will only do. So I'm not saying you accept my words. I'm saying you experiment with my words. So 1 weekend, 1 hour in a weekend you can spare. So in that 1 hour, you say that I'm not going to believe any of my thoughts, and let's see if actions continue to happen or not. Then you will come to the discovery that I am neither the thinker of my thoughts nor the doer of my action. It is only an idea. Then you will find that all actions continue to move in grace beautifully. The mind will still come and resist this, because the mind is the ego. It comes and says, but what are you doing? You should do this, you should not do this. What are you going to say when you meet the consulting company or the client or whatever? It is doing all of this. And many times you have also seen that you go with some decision, but what actually happens in the moment is very different. What comes from your mouth? You say, okay, next time when I go, I'm going to quit, for example. But when you land up in the office, you're saying, okay, what should I do today? Well, don't. So all this is just the pretend play that we are playing in our mind, where God is playing this life for Himself. So I want to seed all of this in you. I want to just plant the seed, but you have to then see whether this is true or not. You can come back and tell me next time that what you said is all rubbish. I'm open to that also. You can say it's all rubbish because I said I'll not go with any thought, and whole day, I was. But if you feel it, you must tell. You see, no problem. If you feel it, you must tell. So if you come and say that whole weekend I spent on the bed, I didn't move because I was not believing my thoughts, and all that you said is just made up stuff, I'm open to that. You can come and say that. But you will find most likely that all life natural actions continue to move. And you find that the burden of life, this burden of ego, is put away and very beautifully it moves. So from the root we remove all four instead of going one by one by one. I think. Yes, please, please. Radhika also wanted to. Who wanted to come? Aparna wanted to come.
Namaste, Father.
Okay, my dear.
I don't know what to say. Just wanted to come up. There's actually nothing to report. But wanted to check with you. So
you're laughing so much. I like this very.
So because I've been thinking for long to what to say, but I want to come up and speak to you, but I don't know what to speak because there is nothing actually to report. Feels like there's no one here to. There's no one here who wants to report also. Then even though there's so much of thoughts and coming and going, it doesn't really bother so much now. It feels like since everything is surrendered to you, everything, whatever is going on, it's all under your directions. It's going by your grace. Not now. Okay? No. No, not now. So no, not now. So this is another mind for me now. So even sometimes there's some thoughts, scary thoughts try to scare. There is no one to fear about. It's very subtle, Father. I can't really, with like before I would tell you, yes, this is what is happening. But now it's like very subtle. It's like the something is losing its grip. That's all I can say. Very clear and very peaceful in the heart. Although, like sometimes the thoughts come like, "Oh, you're not doing the inquiry, so what am I supposed to do? What is going on?" Then it doesn't matter. Father is taking care of everything. Even the inquiry, I don't need to do it. If it has to be done, it will be done through His grace. I don't have to do anything. And I read some post the other day on Facebook that once everything is surrendered to Guru will take care of everything.
I want you to share that story of Bhagwan, where he told this train story. You can share that with everyone. It's very beautiful.
I don't remember Father.
When you get into a train, you get into the compartment and the station master says that this is where the train is going. So we are not questioning every minute, is it going on the right track? Is it going on the right track? You just close your door and you go to sleep, knowing that In so many hours, you are there. Right? So if we can trust a station master and a train driver so much, can we not trust the Guru? Yes.
Yes, that's right, and that's exactly when I mean, all these things are very timely. When you want to know something, it just comes up like that. Somewhere the message comes up like that, and all these things are just. And even even sometimes mine comes up saying what is going on, whether you have to do. It doesn't really matter. And then second thing is what is going on, I don't need to know also, because it's not the consciousness is trying to know, it's like the mind trying to know. So it doesn't really matter. So it's like the life is flowing very normal with your grace. It's just as it is. And also, yesterday also I felt when listening to Satsang, life is only about pure experiencing everything. Everything. There's not a dot that cannot be experienced. And even the dot has to be experienced. That's all. It's how you. That's all I felt. Life is only pure experiencing and nothing else. So this was also like confusion for me. Last weekend, when I was talking to Ramdas ji also, I was just asking him what is going on. He's like, "You've already seen it. Why are you asking these stupid questions?" It's like, it's really matter. You should ignore it. That's what he said. I'm like, really? Then actually, by asking that, something opened up, and then. Since then, it's like, okay, whatever is going on, it's okay. But I wanted to check with you, Father, because I know you can only confirm and no one else, something like that. So, yeah, everything is going fine by the grace of you, Father. Thank you so much. I mean, nothing to complain, nothing to... I know you're doing everything, Father. It's all yours. Thank you so much, Father. I just wanted to say these things to you. That's all. Thank you.
Very good. Yes. I also saw her post on Facebook actually, and I found it very beautiful. Because it was very pertinent what Bhagavan said. If we trust the driver of the train, we trust the station master. So at least that much trust we can place in someone we call our Guru. Otherwise, even this much is not there, then what's the point?
It took that time, Father, to because I didn't have before, maybe because of the past conditioning and experience, the trust was not there on anyone. So it was hard. It's not that I didn't want it to, but something was not really holding on to that word trust. I don't know. So, but yeah, you were there. You didn't let go, Father. Thank you so much, Father, for that. Seriously, thank you so much for that. So much gratitude is there for that. Thank you.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you. So this is very good to see that here trust is not a prerequisite. I don't say that you must come with trust, otherwise don't come. Okay? I say that you come, you feel, you follow the pointing, you see if the pointing like don't believe your next heart, whether it actually gets some more space in your life, whether the suffering doesn't seem so strong as it used to. You follow the words of Satsang, let them be assimilated. And then you will find that as you find that this really correlates with my own experience, the words which are being shared here start to sound like your own voice because they are your own experience. Then automatically this development of trust happens. Automatically this development of trust happens. So like this, it can be slowly, we can come to a point of trust. And for some, they come to first satsang and they feel like, I'm home finally now. This is my home. Nothing can do. So it doesn't matter how that process goes, as long as truly in our heart we feel that this is resonating with what is here. It is resonating with what is here. And then what happens? This is not a personal trust. You see, it's not a personal trust. It is the trusting of the grace which brought us into this satsang itself. So when we are surrendering at the Master's feet, we are surrendering to the same grace which got us to satsang in the first place. See, like Suchitra was saying earlier, I don't know, I just clicked, I wanted to just check something out. Okay. So we can say that that was grace. And it is the same grace which is taking care of our life. And we can surrender to this. So when you are surrendering at the feet of the Master, it is not that Aparna is surrendering at the feet of a person called Ananta. It is only that this grace is operating like this, where the sense of this person now is getting more and more dissolved in this grace itself. This is surrender. Also today I want to say to all of you, because many of you have these questions about what am I doing with my life? Am I just wasting? Am I a loser who just wasting my life? Am I just leaving my responsibilities? Then for those who ask you this, that you are wasting your life, you ask them, what should be the purpose of my life? Let's ask, what should be the purpose of my life? Since you are saying that I am wasting my life, can you please explain to me what the purpose of my life should be? And if they truly love you, they will say that the purpose of your life should be to find this peace, to find happiness, to find joy. Then you will see that it is those who have discovered the truth for themselves about what they are who are in peace. Not those who are in the top 10 of the Forbes magazine or Fortune magazine. It's not those. It is possible to be one of those and still be clear about the truth. It is not mutually exclusive. But it is rare. And here, nothing. We are not saying renounce money, we are not saying renounce responsibilities. All we are saying is renounce your belief in the next thought. That's all. There's no practice, I make you do no yoga, no pranayama, no kriya, nothing. Just renounce your belief in your next thought. That's all. And the truth will unfold for you. All insights, whatever you want, is unfolding very naturally.
I just feel very moved to share.
Yes.
With you. Well, I was watching a Moonji's talk.
Yeah.
He said that in the final contemplation, it simply does not matter what kind of life you have led, even if it's completely body-centric and very limited, or aiming for the highest flight that a human is capable of.
Yeah.
So in that I felt that many times the language of satsang and the language of the world are two different things. One is like the language of bread and mud and whatever, and here it's pure gold. And all the questions that are asked also they are not of that dimension at all. And it's like you have 23.99 carat gold, and the questions are how to make it pure 24 carat kind of thing. And so they are mutually exclusive, and many times I have stopped myself. I can't say from like further exploration or deeper inquiry, simply because I felt that the Bodhisattva and all said that if I can't take everybody along, then what is the purpose of that? So at many points of time I had there was something cooking, but I remember I had just abandoned it at various points of time, and now the feeling is that the greater compassion is in trying to complete it for yourself, because anyway everybody is in God's hands and you cannot be responsible for their level of understanding at a certain time, and you can't accelerate it, or it's a complete one-on-one what is happening.
So 2-3 good points which she shared. This one, you know my memory, so I remember the latest one first. So she says that the Bodhisattva said, if I cannot take my brothers along, then what's the point? It can feel like this. But this, I feel that there's a potential there for misinterpretation. So it can feel like we must all walk lockstep. Left, right, everybody has to walk towards going to some gate which is realization. It's not the way I would hear it would not be like that. It would be to feel that I have discovered what I am. I have discovered what I am. And then these, my brothers which are there, I must also share with them that this is your truth. This is your truth. So like this. It cannot be that we must all either be in this appearance all jumping through the cliff together, or nobody jumps. It cannot be that, because that is limiting. That is limiting. That means the last person, whether he likes it or not, he's still enjoying the game of money and all of that. He should also come to freedom. And then he will come to Satsang and will say the opposite of what you said. Because if I say I go to a money making seminar, then I find it so useful because I know what to do. And here you're just sitting and you're not even telling us what to do. It's complete mud. You see? It's a question of perspective. So because you're done with the game, you want the freedom for yourself, you can say that this is gold. For one who is not done with the game, you will feel that this is mud. That's most of what I remember from what you said. If you all could just, if you all could just see yourselves as I see you, as my own self, then you will not give so much importance to this mind which is saying, why are you like this, why this, why you. Something doesn't want to look at me. Yes, I know. This can happen also in the hangout sometimes, You come with a question and something wants to hide. It's looking here. Like this. It can come. Now because something is trying to hold on, something is fearing that even this, I don't want to give this over to him. He's taking everything. He's taking everything. So I will look at him, even this will go. So let me not. Let me hide. So this is again the person trying to hang on to something which doesn't want dissolve now.
Don't say who is the
Yes.
I want to be.
See, because if I was to become party to your belief, you know how much trouble would happen.
I don't want.
Yeah.
I don't want that.
So what is it like? What?
Division, but if you like, okay.
She's still not looking. She's still looking out.
I want to do something about it.
About the decision whether to meet someone or not. The same decision?
No, about the pain,
Okay.
which involves finding.
Yeah.
And then I don't understand, like, the part that wants to move my body is certain just to sit, and then the body's just sitting here.
Yeah.
So it's like, why doesn't it move with some other part of
Can I make it simpler? Why don't you just go meet that one who can help with the body? It's not either this or that. The mind can say that it's either you're in satsang or you go to a doctor. It's not like this. We've spoken about this example. That if the car needs servicing, then you take it to a mechanic.
But I feel like I'm making the decision.
Okay, so you let me make it. You want to get into the mechanics of decision making? You will find that there are these thoughts, and you're saying, okay, I like this thought, or I like this thought. I like this thought which is saying yes, or I like this thought which is saying no. If you were to really evaluate, you will see that this, firstly, you cannot find who this decision maker is. Second, you will not find what is the basis except just some more thought for which a decision gets made. Okay? So it's very unreliable. And we have been given too much trust to this idea of decision making. And yet, when we look back at our lives, we say that so much of this just happened. How did you come into satsang? Did you decide you will be in satsang with Ananta, or how did it happen? You just saw a link somewhere in it. It just happened.
It seems like there are dots that connected,
Yeah.
seems like logical.
But you find that no amount of logic could have connected the dots of my life the way it played out. If you look at how life plays out, you will find that sometimes the most improbable, sometimes Devika and I sit and we have the same sort of tendencies to do these kind of silly experiments. So I tell her, what do you feel? Because she's into maths and things. So, what do you feel would be the probability of this event happening after this event? And the odds are crazy. It's like 1 in a gazillion or something. Okay? And yet it happens. And sometimes it happens multiple times. If we were to use pure logic to define our life, you will find that my life is 1 in a trillion or something like this. You calculate all the odds of the events and the way they happen, you will find that it's impossible odds. So what is that supreme intelligence which continues to run all our lives with such impossibility?
I don't know if I trust that if I let go, then there'll be nobody to meet.
Yeah.
Or it won't get made.
So this decision maker has been really helpful in the past. Is that what it is? Yes.
I'm convinced
There must
that
be something which must not trust this anymore, because there must be something that is feeling that so much trust, so much suffering came because of this. Because if there was still so much trust in this idea of I making all the decisions, then I would not feel that you would even be sitting here. I would feel that you might just come 1 or 2 sets and check it out and say it's not for me. There has to be something which is feeling that this, the way it was working in the past, doesn't seem to compute. That's why you have open ears, you see. Religious energy is nothing.
Nothing there.
It feels like there's nothing there. Yes. That's not a bad thing.
It feels like the body is. Sometimes I experience when I just sit. It's not often. I sit on the sofa and I sit like I don't want to move. And then the more I sit, the more it hurts. Like, because I feel like the body should be moving or I should be. Sometimes I don't even do my exercises because I don't want to move.
But this was the same guy making the decision. No?
I don't know.
Yes, because he said, okay, I don't want to move, I just want to sit. The same one you said was very helpful?
Because the thought comes, the thoughts there, I want to move.
Yeah. Thought comes, I'm not going to.
Just sitting there.
Yeah.
I don't know who's doing what.
Yes.
Just like now, because it's like talking like, oh, it's hurting, I want to lie down.
You know what is
not.
happening is that when you abstract the question, then it makes it about something else. So again and again we are saying, is there anybody home? And you're saying, but who's doing? So it's latching on to the concept of doership because it feels it has some good points of argument over there. I can say decision making and doership, it feels like it. But you left the original question, which was who's home? And if you find somebody's home, then I will give it to you. That one is the doer. What is more direct? Is it to explore the concept of doership more direct or to find the one that is here more direct? So don't let all of this take you away from the question that you are asking. And let life move. Body has to move right now. If you're uncomfortable, you can walk around. It's okay.
So it feels like I'm.
Yeah.
It feels like I should, but
Yeah.
I'm not.
What does that prove? That decisions are worthless.
Then again, this anger, like I'm not moving and then it hurts more.
But nobody is stopping you. It's just distracting you from the main question. Leave your body completely free. Let it do whatever it wants to move around, walk around with it. It's okay.
It only proves like decision makers.
Yeah.
You know?
Who is the decision maker? Decision making is an attribute. It doesn't show you any tangibility about who is who. Again, secondary evidence. So some feeling feels like somebody's home. Some thought feels like somebody's home. Sense of doership feels like somebody's home. Who is home? Okay, anger can come, resistance can come. You don't have to do anything. This whether I have to let go or not, forget about it. You're just asking, is there somebody there? These are tears with a story or without a story?
Still saying if I let nobody here.
Yes, but who? Who lets go? This one that is saying is who? So are you this one? Are you this one which is saying this? Or are you the one that is aware of this? You know, there's the song that Priya posted. Did you see that one? Oh, you're not on Facebook. So she posted a song which is called "Don't Feed the Trolls" because we are getting these trolls in satsang. Yeah. So like this, if there's some energy or something, the more belief we give to this energy, the more we feel it. It's completely in your power to not feel it. It happens like this. So what can happen is that you feel like you come to satsang here and we clear a lot of it up. We clear a lot of it up. Then I can see in your eyes that okay, it's lost most of its power. Then it gets even a little bit of belief can be a lifeline. Much food, just little belief. Like it can also be very simple like this. But if I let go, then what will happen? Just like this, if you give it your belief. Who you believe more? This one that speaks there, or this one that speaks through this mouth? Who you believe? Then just give up. This one just clamoring for some attention. This energy is just clamoring for some attention because of this feeling that make me center stage now. It's in this, make me center stage. Let's do all that we did last time. But it doesn't even deserve that. It doesn't deserve that also because it's nothing. It's just fading, just fading. And here in Satsang, it's completely powerless. It can come. It will come as some anger, some resistance, something will come. What's happening now?
Space down.
Yeah, space lock.
Like I don't want to listen to you.
Yeah. You don't have to feel that something should happen or something. Yes,
The thoughts.
no.
No thoughts saying, I don't know how I'm keeping believe. So they have to keep happening.
I don't believe it. It's frustrating.
No, this is a concern.
Who's just the same guy trying to be helpful. See?
This is anger that I see that it's something that's kind of repeating this. Like, I want to stop.
This being is in Satsang now. This being is in Satsang now. You have no role here anymore. This being is in Bhagwan's presence. Shiva is here. You have no role here.
I want to stop being really to it.
Don't be this one also. Don't be this one also.
You say I have the power. It's like I have to do
Okay,
something.
then for a while let it be my power. Let me do it. Just leave. Leave because you are nothing. And you are nothing, so it doesn't even matter if you don't leave. You can say if it's something is coming up, you can say.
I don't want to keep cooking Satsang.
Just let it go, whatever it is. Whatever is happening, let it happen. All sense of control, you leave it to me. Leave it. All this self-image also. Self-image about what others will think and forget about it. Let it out.
Like something wants to be like when my body feels like kind of frozen. To say that, okay, it doesn't matter if I scream and shout, because I've done that many times. It's not going. It won't make any difference.
Just the same guy. Different versions, variations. Same guy. She's nothing. All that you believe yourself to be is not true. Nothing. Don't restrain anything. If it feels like it wants to attack or something, it's okay. You don't restrain. Nothing. You will not get any belief here. You will not get any belief. Nothing.
I know you don't believe it, but I'm.
The I that says this does not exist. Before you are nothing. You can scream, you can say whatever you want, you can get angry, you can do whatever. It makes no difference here because your time is up.
A picture of me getting up and walking.
Yes, that's why I'm holding the hand. Don't feed it anything. Even you feed it that, even as the concept that it must go, leave that to me. It's really nothing. What we do is we turn the broadcast off and we spend a few minutes. That's the alarm like.
About 2.5 hours.
Okay, my love. So we're going to disconnect from the broadcast. If you feel you want to share a bhajan or something, you can play that and end satsang. So much love, so much love. Thank you, Jesh.